Ah yes, the topic of this video. Now look, I wasn't originally planning on going for Furina, but then this beautiful gentleman told me to, and since it's just more content for me, I figured why not. The plan for today is very simple and straightforward. I just need to get Furina, as I also don't feel like farming a whole lot for her either, so that'll do it for today. So at the start of this 2-day journey, the first thing I wanted to do was leech some Primo Gems from the Graph Adversarial Technology Experiment log. Man, that name sucks. In the middle of the event, I genuinely thought I was onto something and I thought I'd be able to get all of the Primos this event had to offer. It didn't really work out though. Turns out part of this event could be done once a day, and since I started on the last day, I was only able to get a whopping 60 out of 420 Primo Gems. So, since I wanted to get to the Fontaine chapter as soon as possible, I immediately started with wrapping up the Sumeru chapter, right? Not really. I started the quest and the next thing I decided to do was head over to the Spiral Abyss and get the 450 Primo Gems there, as really it's just 3 wishes. After which I headed to the wishing screen and ripped the tadpole in hopes of getting Furina early. I didn't get lucky though. But I did get Charlotte. Alright, now I decided to do the Archon quest, which I should have long ago, but let's just ignore that for now. Although, honestly speaking, I didn't find the quest that interesting. I tried to follow along but lost track pretty quickly because of how dialogue heavy it is. Skipping an hour further into the quest, I have to give credit where it's due. The boss fight was great. It's different from all other fights in the sense that the camera settings aren't the same, and it was nice being able to try Wander out again. So, we take Big Man's out, after which Wanderer calls him an imbecile. After heading back to Nahida's place, we're presented with the crazy task of naming him, and after going through like 20 names, I ended up settling on Chan. We head back to our resting place, and this quest is a wrap. The next quest on our list to get through was Caribert, and I was pretty excited about this one as I've heard some great things about it. So I meet up with Dainsliff, who appears to try getting wasted at a tavern, and we head off on a thrilling adventure. By the way, I had heard a lot of things said about this quest, and they mostly were in the form of, oh my gosh, this quest made me nauseous and I almost had a heart attack in the foot, and it was super crazy, but really it wasn't that bad. For the most part, we were taking care of Aid's illegitimate son he had with a woman from Mondstadt, Caribert, who for some reason is a Hilichurl. And we make some medicine in hopes of just curing him and supposedly turning him human. It doesn't work out too well though, and he ends up taking his mask off and is consumed by the power of the Abyss. Then we wake up in Aid's house and take a look in the mirror, which makes us see our sibling, and we turned into them, which is really weird, but I'm sure it all makes sense. It's Genshin after all. Although I had this quest spoiled for me, it was still pretty nice, although I genuinely thought this quest would leave an impact on me, and it really didn't, which I'm a bit disappointed about. But it's a solid quest, I liked it, so now we move on to the part I was excited about, Fontaine. We enter the nation and are immediately met with the girl standing by the sea looking like she's about to jump in it. After a bit of dialogue, her twin brother pops out of nowhere and introduces himself and his sister. Their names are Linny and Lynette respectively. So now they're gonna take us to their magic show. Surely nothing could stop us now, right? Ah, shit. So, meet the Hydro Archon Furina. Can you guess what will be the first thing she does? If you guessed A, you're totally wrong. She presses literal fucking charges against us for Paimon being a floating object. She's a balloon. Alright, case dismissed. So after that, we're taken to the opera house to enjoy Linny and Lynette's magic show. And honestly, it's going great. Tricks are awesome and they're all doing it without a vision. And overall, it's a really fantastic performance too. Alright, maybe it's not going so great after all. So now there's a murder mystery around this guy named Cowell getting crushed. Then we gather some clues to have a better understanding of what's happening, find some evidence, and are put on trial as Linny and Lynette's defense lawyers. The trial goes on, we play a fun minigame, which is just a clicking simulator, but still, it's pretty good. During the trial, we also find out that the murderer of Cowell is...
The killer was, in fact, Cowell! Is that
So yeah, apparently Cowell had tampered with the equipment, which caused the ropes to light on fire, thus causing this. Then the verdict is told by the... I'm not sorry. And yeah, I'll let Nuvelet say it.
As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
So yeah, we won the trial, end of quest. So I'll go through the next quests quicker, because if I were to get through them at this pace and in this style, this video would be as long as the documentary, and I don't want it to be that long, so let's move on to the second Archon quest. And yes, also yes, don't worry, I did get the free wish after the quest. Don't worry, it's all fine in the end. So the quest picks up right after the first, and we start with the celebration of our victory in the trial, which, you know, fun. Then we enter the Fountain of Lucine, have a talk with an ocean looking for her dear Washay, and are pulled out of it, and a cutscene plays where Navia and Florin fight off a bunch of robots that have apparently set up an ambush on us. I really don't know why. So then there's a court case, and Child is the main suspect as he supposedly linked to the disappearance of a man. Then Navia comes in the courtroom claiming that Child here is innocent, and with evidence she gathered prior to the trial, does her best to prove his innocence. We engage in some more exciting clicking gameplay, and after all of that, Child is... Yeah, this is why you don't use machines to tell if someone's guilty or not. So then a scandal breaks out, and Nuvelet steps on Child, and he's going to jail.
I am sorry.
And for the most part, that's the end of the quest. I left out a lot of details because I just don't find them important enough to give attention to. So we have some nice dialogue with Nuvelet, and that's the end of Act 2 out of 5. Alright. Act 3, here we go! Personally and honestly speaking, I hate this quest. I'm sure a lot of you liked it, but I personally despise it. It's the second longest quest, and in this video it'll be the shortest part, as for most of it it's just repetition. So we enter the Fortress of Meripede and take our mugshots. Soon to be met by Risley to give us a personal tour of the place. It's not too bad, but let me tell you from my experience how it was. Well, I wake up, go to the production zone, engage in some paid labor, fall off an elevator, link up with my homies, and apparently that we're charged with theft, by the way, eat, go to bed, and repeat. And for the most part, that's it. It's just dialogue, no action, no nothing. That's why I want to skip this quest so badly. Although meeting Charles Crew was pretty interesting, though I wanted to know where he went and I still had no clue. Apparently he escaped, and the second part I liked was faking being sick for the sake of a scheme we had planned with the twins, Lenny and Lynette. Also, a pretty notable part of this quest is where Lenny is super worried about the disappearance of his little brother Fremine, so he turns to Risley to know where he is. Then Coloran enters the room, drops Fremine on the ground, and we find out that bro literally drowned. So we return to the infirmary where Fremine received some treatment, ate our food for the last time here, and watched in awe as Newvillette saves the prison from flooding. As it turns out, this guy is the Hydro Dragon! After that, we fulfill Newvillette's request of staying with Furina while Arlecchino is there, as apparently Arlecchino had attacked her before trying to diagnose. She obviously failed because Furina's human forehead. I also met a familiar face in Fontaine, Mona. She's here because she has some business to attend to here, and after having a little chat, we part ways and I head over to Poisson, I hope I pronounced that right, and stumble into Furina, who seems to be on the edge of giving up on life, and then some furious people that act like some rabid animals start chasing us. We run into a little house, and when we think that we've ran away from them, the house ends up collapsing on us, and we end up in one of Linny's magic tricks. So everyone is starting to suspect Furina after Poisson's incident, where a lot of people died and she did absolutely nothing to help her people. So now they're all against her, and we are in Furina's trial. So there's a lot of claims against her, such as Paimon saying she knew Child was innocent back then, and that she actually had absolutely no idea how the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale even worked in the first place. And Furina being Furina, she throws out some excuses. Then she's requested to do a test to see if she's a fraud or not. She has to put her hand in a bowl of water that will kill her if she's human and will not if she's an Archon. Turns out the concentration of the water wasn't even strong enough to kill a human, so the test was completely useless to begin with. And now the final judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale takes place, and the verdict of the trial is...
According to the judgment.
Guilty?
Well, what's wrong? What's the Oratrice's verdict?
No, the Oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus: the Hydro Archon, guilty to be punished via the death sentence.
What? Fun fact, that was the first time that's ever happened in a trial. Afterwards, a giant whale pops out of the ground and tries to attack all the people in the opera house. The Child appears out of nowhere and absolutely demolishes the poor thing. After that, he ends up giving us a thumbs down, signalizing us to go with him, and falls in the black hole that the whale created. Then the death sentence is executed, and the Archon half of Furina, which is named Fossilors, reveals how she sent Furina in this world to pretend to be an Archon. So yeah, Furina was forced to be a fraud, and now I feel bad. Then Fossilors is executed, and Fontaine is now left Archonless, as Newvillette can't replace her, and Furina's a human, so yeah. We head down to the black hole and fight the big whale, basically finish what Child started. We kill it, and that's the first time we get to see Skirk, who's Child's master. She violently throws the poor dude into a portal. Why'd she chuck him in there? Oh, that's... After that, the prophecy where basically the entire nation drowns is fulfilled, and we can see our characters saving those that are in the water. And when I thought the entire nation was done for, the water level suddenly starts dropping. What the fuck? So yeah, the prophecy was basically wrong. I don't even know anymore. I lost track, man. So we talked to Newvillette one last time. We bid farewells to each other. I claim my free wish, and it's time to wish. Right, then pull. Oh, let me go get some more wishes real quick. Furina. Come on. Oh my god. Motherfuck.